Hey there guys, it's Gus, and today we are working on part 2 of, this is part 2 of the SCX10 6x6 build. So, okay, so for the chassis here, I got myself some marks where I'm going to cut it off. The back of the other chassis is going to end up coming up flush with this, so I'm going to use part of the front chassis, which is actually thicker, and that will go over top of this and then give me something to attach to the other chassis. You'll see more so what I'm talking about when we get there. To get this mark, we need it the same as what this is. So what I did is I just used my caliper, held it up so it was lined up like so, and then I used it as a scribe here to scribe a mark in it. Did that on both sides. And so now I'm going to trim this off here, I also trimmed, there's a piece for the battery mount, we won't be needing that, and for when I mount the other frame pieces on it, it'll be in the way, so I did trim out that battery mount section in here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these off and we'll get you back on. I got the parts trimmed off on my frame here, and I did build one of these so far. It just slides over top like so. And what I made those out of are the front half of the rails. If you're not familiar, these are built like the Vitera Ascenders were, where the chassis is two pieces, so you can shrink, shorten, and lengthen them for wheelbases. And it has this perfect bend in it because this part of the chassis is actually out, and then it goes straight back here, and these have a slight curve back, so that way when you lay this in here with this little curve back, it's perfect. And these are made to slide over the other size of frame rail, so it should work out pretty slick. And then I cut it about right in here, and then I put just a little half circle in there to miss the shock tower. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to attach these yet. This metal is pretty thick, so I might weld this part to here, and then this part will bolt on, because this is just going to slide on like so, and then there'll be one on each side, and then we'll have our back part of the chassis on there. I made, not 100%, we'll see how it goes. It's I may just put some screws in it because we do have plenty of room to just put some screws in, so I might just do that, and it does fit together real nice. Alright, next up I'm going to go and finish up the other side, and then get everything set up, and I'll have to drill some matching holes that match this here so I can screw these on, and then the frame part will be done. Then I can start working on the section for the drop down for the rear links to hook up to. Alright, there we go, we got both sides done. Fits on there real nice. I wanted 5 inches between the center of the shock tower to the center of the shock tower, or where the body mounts go, and that came out perfect. So now I'm going to go to work and see what I'm gonna do for the part that comes down for the links for the rear axle, and before I go ahead and fasten these, because there may be something I need to do to that would work better if I don't on the other one, or I might have to trim some stuff out. So we will see what happens when we get there. So far it's coming together real nice. Alright, here we go. I went through and decided to put some screws in. I drilled holes for the frame piece I made here. These are just sitting in here for now. I've got plenty of room to put some screws in, so we could either screw it. I think I'm not sure, because I'm going to be using these pieces here, which are the bottom part of this where I cut it off. That originally was attached to this part of the frame, which is the same as here. So it comes up like so, because I'm going to use this piece here to hook on to the mount for the, I'll go on something like so, and that will hold on to the link mounts. And I want to do it that way so I can get them as far forward as possible so they're long, and that way you get better suspension movement. And they will be close to the axle up here, but I should be good. So with this, I'm going to have to weld this on. I could make a plate. If you don't have a welder, you can also just make a plate to go up from here down here, and then put some holes here and here, and then bolt them together like that as well. And maybe I might do that, but I think since I do have a welder, I think I'm just gonna go that route with these pieces. Alright, I gotta get these trimmed up, and I took one of the trans mount or skid or whatever you prefer to call it. I already trimmed that down. That's gonna mount in here. I'm gonna have to drill some holes for it. I need to make some shorter links, a couple other odds and ends, and then we'll be ready to go. Alright, I'm gonna do some work to sharpen these and get everything lined up, and we'll get you back on. Alright, I decided to go with screws on that part. It looks pretty good on there. Now all I need to do is just get this piece here mounted up. I got this here all set to go. And this will just mount on up under here. And then I'll put the links on. And for the links, I'm probably gonna have to make links. I was hoping to find some the right size, but I wasn't able. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run to the hardware store, grab some threaded rod to make some temporary ones to get the size I need, and then I may take some of the stock links, cut them down to the right length, lay down the ends, and then use one of my dies to tap the threads, and that way all the links match. I might not do that. I don't know. We'll see how lazy I get. And I also ordered the 11.4 wheelbase front links for it, so I can shorten it up. I do want to shorten it a hair, so it's not quite as long. Right now the wheelbase is going to be right about 17 inches at the rear wheel. So I want to shorten that up a little bit to help it steer a little bit better. And then the way I have it set up now, the entire wheelbase will shift together, so that way it brings the rear axle in with the front. So the way this works, you shorten the links, and then the chassis slides in, and when you slide the chassis in, it'll bring the rear axle width and adjust it back to the right spot. So that is my plan with that. So next step is to weld this on, make some links, and a few other odds and ends, and I think and I have some other parts coming, and I think what I'm going to do is put that in the next video. Otherwise this video is going to be pretty long. So that's all we're going to do for today in this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.